In this lesson, we're going to look at how to divide fractions and mixed numbers. So our objectives are: how are multiplying and dividing fractions related? How do we use reciprocals to divide fractions? And how do we divide mixed numbers? So let's look at a model for dividing fractions. So here we're modeling the problem 2/3 divided by 1/2. So on the left, we have 2/3 represented by the red boxes because we have 2 out of 3. On the right, we have 1/2. So blue is half, and then we have half that we don't have. So what we're going to do is we're going to take each and cut it into the other part. So we're going to take the box that's cut into thirds and we're going to divide it into 2 parts. So now what we actually have is 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the box that's divided into halves and we're going to divide it into thirds. Basically what a fraction bar is. So what do we actually have? Well, so now what we have from our box on the left is we have 4. So that's our numerator. And from the right side, we have 3, which is our divisor. So we get 4/3. So the mystery is, how did we get 2/3 divided by 3/2 to equal 4/3 without having to draw all these boxes? So that's what we're going to go ahead and look at right now. So the mystery comes into what we're actually doing with this division. So how did this happen that we ended up with 4/3? So, well, it comes with that dividing by 1/2. And so, in fact, because multiplication and division are so related, we actually can write every multiplication problem as a division problem and every division problem as a multiplication problem. So this problem is what it really did, was we took 2/3 and we made it into halves. And we took halves and we made it into thirds. So how we would write that is 2/3 times 2/1. And when we multiply 2 times 2, we get 4, and 3 times 1 is 3. Notice that this and this are upside down from each other. So what we have is 2 numbers that are called reciprocals. So basically the word reciprocal just says that we take a number and we switch the numerator and the denominator's positions. So reciprocal is defined as this: for any fraction a over b, its reciprocal is b over a. So we just flip-flop the numerator and the denominator to get a reciprocal. So one other change we did, remember, is we changed division to multiplication, because the fact of the matter is we really don't divide fractions. So our steps for dividing fractions. So when we're going to divide fractions, we would go ahead and first write both factors as fractions. So 3/5 is a fraction, 9/20 is a fraction. Then we're going to follow this little rule called keep, change, flip. So we're going to take the first factor and we're going to keep it exactly the same. So in other words, we're going to keep this problem down here, we're going to keep 3/5 exactly how it is. Then we're going to change the division sign to multiplication. Then we're going to reciprocate or flip the second factor, or the divisor. So 9/20 is no longer going to be 9/20. We're going to write it as 20/9. Then we're going to follow the steps for multiplying fractions. So first I'm going to look for a common factor. So I see that 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So 3 and 9 have a common factor of 3. Then I look diagonally at 5 and 20, and I notice they're both divisible by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. And 20 divided by 5 is 4. And now we multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. I'm going to leave it as an improper fraction exactly how it is, because it's just fine for the problem. So our quotient is 4 over 3. Okay, let's continue practicing. So on this problem, we have 8/15 divided by 3/4. So following those steps, I keep, change, flip. I keep the first term the same, 8 over 15. I change division to multiplication, and I flip the divisor, 3/4, to 4/3. Now I'm going to look for common factors. 8 and 3 have no common factors. 8 and 15 have no common factors. 4 and 15 and 4 and 3 have no common factors. So I'm going to just go ahead now and multiply straight across. So 8 times 4 is 32. 15 times 3 is 45. So we get 32 over 45. Okay, now we're going to look at this with mixed numbers. Now, just like with multiplying fractions, we don't divide mixed numbers. We put them in fraction form. So that's the first step when you have mixed numbers, is just to make sure again that both numbers are written as fractions. So we do whole number times denominator, 6 plus 2 is 8. So we're just converting the mixed number into a fraction. 1 times 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, so now we have 8/3 divided by 3/2. Now we can do keep, change, flip. Keep 8/3 the same, change division to multiplication, and flip 3 over 2 to its reciprocal. So 8/3 times 2 over 3. Again, no common factors between numerators and denominators, so I'm just going to multiply. 8 times 2 is 16. 3 times 3 is 9. Now, since our problem started with mixed numbers, I'm going to put my answer as a mixed number for this and only this reason. 16 divided by 9 is 1, with 7 left over. So my quotient is 1 and 7/9.